We're going to talk about 8.4 in this section, which is volume. And I want you to realize that there's going to seem to be a lot of formulas in this chart, but it really comes down to memorizing 3 formulas as long as you know your area formula. Volume is you dealing with a 3-dimensional object, so it should have cubic units. And so it's the capacity that would fill this 3-dimensional object. Solid geometry, which is what we're going to deal with, is looking at 3-dimensional solid figures. A polyhedron, which is a new keyword, is going to be a closed surface, which that means if you follow with your pencil or pen and you follow it around, you don't have to pick it up. So it's a closed surface formed by the union of polygonal regions. So again, it means the sides, the 2-dimensional sides of it will be some type of a polygon. So that means it can be a triangle, a rectangle, a trapezoid. So you have options there in those pieces. That's my definition for a polyhedron. Closed means you can trace it all the way around. We also have what's called a regular polyhedron. And this is just saying that all faces are congruent. The most common one I can give you for that would be a cube, because a cube has every single side that is that square face. So I mentioned to you that we're going to have essentially 3 formulas for this section, and I'm going to go ahead and write them on the top of this page, and then I'll show you that again we're going to add these into our chart. But if we have 3 different distinct figures. If we have 2 bases in my drawing, and what I mean by that is the bases have to match. So if you think about, again, a cube or a rectangular box, they have a top and a bottom. If my formula is that, my volume will be the area of the base times the height. So if I have 2 bases, which you'll understand in a second once we look at the drawings, what I mean by that. My second case is if I have 1 base. So an easy example for this would be a pyramid. The pyramid sits on a base, but it doesn't have a top and a bottom that match. Or a cylinder, which would be a can, like a vegetable can. So if we have 1 base, the volume will be 1/3 the area of the base times the height of that figure. So that's going to be the majority of our drawings and pictures for this problem. We have one other piece that, again, circles tend to not follow all of the same original rules. We should know that. So my third one is my sphere, which we're going to do down here below. The volume of that will be 4/3 pi r cubed. We should know, again, circumference is dealing with a perimeter, so that's our single units. We have an r in it. Area is squared units. We're dealing with the region bounded by that 2-dimensional, so it's r squared. Sphere is r cubed because we're dealing with volume, but it's really important. That's the third one you need to know. So now we're going to, again, go down to this chart, and we're going to fill in what these different pieces are. So the first one we're going to look at, main piece, is it's called a prism. So a prism is a polyhedron. So all of the sides are going to be some form of a polygon whose bases are congruent. When I said it before, we generally assume that the bases are congruent because that's how we're going to actually calculate it, but they don't have to be congruent. So they're going to be congruent polygons. So top and bottom, if we consider those our bases, will match. And the sides will be parallelograms. And sides are parallelograms. So key again, 2 bases. If we actually have what's called the lateral regions, which are the sides that are not the base, are rectangles, we call them a right prism. And that's what we're going to generally deal with. We're going to deal with a right prism because that's going to help us use the formula that we do. So my formula for a prism, any prism, it has two bases. Since it has two bases, my formula is area of the base times the height. So now we're going to look at samples of these. These are not the only prisms, but the first one we're going to look at is a rectangular prism. That means that the base, the two bases, are rectangles. Since it's a prism, it's a rectangular prism. So notice all of these top four underneath prism. That means all of these are rectangular prism, a cube that is a prism, a triangular prism, and a trapezoidal prism. So a lot of you already know the volume of a rectangular solid would be length times width times height. But the reason why is because my area of my rectangle is length times width. The height is, again, what we're adding for the third dimension. So the area of the base for this one is length times width. So yes, you can memorize that formula, but as long as you know your area formulas, you can get that. When we're dealing with a cube, again, in this case, it would be side squared for that square, and realize it would have been a height, but in this case, because my height, all of the lengths are the same, so this is why it's s cubed. And again, it's not a new formula. You can memorize it, but as long as you understand what we're doing for this problem. So on each one of these, I'm going to go ahead and write down parentheses times height. And this is a triangular base. So again, I'm going to draw it on here to make sure you're clear. So this would be 1/2 the base times height 1, which is the height of the triangle. The height 2 is the height between the two bases. So this h that's on the outside, that capital H that I have there, this is the distance between the two bases that match. Okay. So don't get confused with two different h's. They use h1, h2, but just understand that that height on the outside is really the distance between the two bases. So for my trapezoidal, I again look at that trapezoid, which is here. And we should know that that formula is 1/2 the height, which for this picture here, they have my height 1 as being that trapezoid, B1 plus B2. Close that parentheses. That is my piece inside. So this is my trapezoidal formula, which we already did from before. This was my triangle. This was my square. The height on the outside is the distance between the two bases. So I have 4 formulas there, but they shouldn't be 4 new formulas that you memorize. You can, but as long as you know the area of the base times the height. So let's look at our next one, which is our pyramid. There is one base in a pyramid. Okay. A pyramid's definition, it's a polyhedron. It's a polyhedron with only one base. And the sides are triangles. One base is the key here. So if we only have one base means volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. And the height will be the distance from the base to the apex. The apex is that point that it comes to. So if I have a rectangular, so I'm going to say if I have a rectangular pyramid, and that means that the base is a rectangle, my formula here would be 1/3. The area of a rectangle is length times width. That's my formula for my volume of a rectangular pyramid. 1/3 area of the base times the height. Going to my next one is a cylinder. We're going to actually only deal with a cylinder that's called a right circular cylinder, where the base is a circle. How many bases do I have in a cylinder, which would be a can? It doesn't mean that it literally has to have something top and bottom, but it's the shape. So there are 2 bases. We are going to deal with circular cylinders. There are other variations, but that's the only one we're going to deal with in this class. So we have 2 non-polygonal bases. We're going to deal with circles, and the surface joining those bases. Since I have 2 bases, my volume again is area of the base times the height. If I'm dealing with a circular cylinder, my area of my base, we should know that that's pi r squared, and we deal with the height is still defined to be the height is a distance between my 2 bases. So this is my circular cylinder, which is the only one we'll deal with in this class. It's pi r squared times h. The pi r squared just comes from that circle being the base. Going to my cone, there is 1 base, and we are going to only deal with the circular base again in this class. So we're going to deal with that piece, which means that I have 1 non-polygonal base and the surface joining that base and the apex. The apex is just the point that it comes to. There is 1 base. So our formula says if we have 1 base, the volume is 1/3 area of the base times the height. We are going to now deal with what's called our circular cone, which is like an ice cream cone, waffle cone type idea. Okay. So this would be volume equals 1/3 pi r squared times h, which is the distance between the apex and the base. Again, not new. Here's my formula here. Here's my formula here. Last one we already wrote on the top. Again, volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. You just need to memorize it. So there really are 3 formulas for you to memorize here. 2 bases, area of the base times height. 1 base, 1/3 area of the base times the height. And the sphere, 4/3 pi r cubed. When we do these problems, you still need to do what we did in 8.4. You need to look and see, are your units the same? So always start by looking at that and deciding what type of figure it is. Once you've done those steps, write down the general formula based on how many bases there are, and then we convert.